welcome back to the podcast. Today we're covering, do you really need high-end kit? And if so, when? Is it a complete waste of money, as I've wasted quite a lot of money in high-end kit? Let's go through that as well. The ethics of commercial photography. Sensor size. We're hitting sensor size. I've got literal examples in front of me here. If you're listening to this audio only, I'll do my best to describe it as if this is radio, but I have got examples in front of me. We're going to get into sensor size because that video made a lot of people very mad. And then the cheapest kit that's made me the most money, because I think that's a great thing to look at. There's loads of expensive kit in here. If you're looking at the camera angle of me, it's like a massive 8-foot Octobank indirect. There's a hazy light up there, like Scoro packs around, and currently being lit by a monstrous amount of light. We've got an AD 1200 and AD 600 Pros over there lighting us. But most of my money's not been made with that stuff. None of my money's been made with the AD 1200 because they just arrived.
I mean, that's literally box fresh.
Box fresh. So we're going to go over that. Now, the reason we're starting with the high-end thing is because 2 of my videos have recently picked up views from a long time ago, and we've got some new followers. And the problem with YouTube is each video lives in its own microclimate.
Yes.
It doesn't live in the context of the greater world. So it's also the case that 2 things can be true at the same time. You know, getting sunlight's good for you, but it will give you cancer. You know, both statements are true. Sunlight will give you cancer. Getting sunlight is good for you. They're both true statements, but it's the context. And context seems to be lost on the internet. So I've got a video labeled Why Pros Refuse Godox. Now, it was called Why Pros Do Not Use Godox, but using the words do not use meant Godox fell off. So it just said why pros do not use, because it only shows so many words before it drops into the little dots. Yeah. So that's why it's refused. That's the best word I could come up with to fill the blank. Everyone's like, well, I'm a pro and I use it. So the key context of that video is it's commercial photographers. I don't care if you're shooting headshots. Of course you use Godox. You'd be a mug not to. Like the idiot not to. Weddings, yeah, Godox. I'm not leaving a broncolor flash in the corner of a dance floor whilst drunk Uncle Jim goes and...
I've met drunk Uncle Jim on a job.
Yeah, drunk Uncle Jim, that's hard to say actually, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not even drunk.
Cost me a laptop and a 6D.
Yeah, they do that.
Cheers, Jim.
Yeah, nice one, mate. So there's the context to it. Now, just to give you the header, because everyone gets mad at this every time. The reason we all use Broncolor and Pro Photo is because that's what's in the rental houses. Mm-hmm. Johnson & Johnson's campaign I shot on Pro Photo. I didn't sit there and go, ooh, which brand of light shall I use? I phoned up the rental house and went, what you got? Pro Photo. Wicked. Send it. Like, give it all.
Yeah.
I was like, here's what I own Broncolor. Here's what I'd like to use for Broncolor. Find me the Pro Photo equivalent. Now, in my own studio, I've got Broncolor, and the reason I've got Broncolor is because I inherited some Broncolor from somebody moved into a new commercial property, and the previous photographer had gone bankrupt, so I bought some Broncolor dirt cheap off them. Already in the ecosystem, why change now? It's good light.
Well, and it'd be astronomically expensive to switch all of this out now for something else.
Oh, I'd lose a lot of money. So change camera brands. It's the most pointless thing in the world, having done it.
Yeah, and you got some absolute bargains at an auction, if I remember correctly.
I did. I got some wicked ones. My mate Dip upstairs found them, and he was like, I found this Scotch, do you want to buy it? I think he gave me a little markup on what he paid, and then I went back and bought the rest. So the reason pros don't use Godox is because there isn't a rental house in the UK that lets you rent Godox.
No, because I mean, if you look at what it would cost per day to rent, it's not going to move the needle for the rental house.
Yeah, is it Pixapro? Is that the UK?
It's the same stuff rebranded for the UK.
So they do rent stuff out, but it's more expensive to rent a Godox pack from them than it is to rent several Broncolor packs. And they also don't have, like, when you're shooting in London, someone turns up in a van with all the kit at 8 a.m. ready for you to go. They don't have that thing. It's great for try before you buy and all the rest of it, but it's not for commercial use. Also, if something goes wrong, they've got one place to get it from. I don't know if they've actually got enough kit to, they might be wrong. I would be happily corrected. What I'm not saying here, and what I've never said, is that Godox is rubbish. Godox is one of the most phenomenal brands in photography. The quality of light they produce and the quality of equipment they produce at the price point they sell it at is insane. If you've been doing it for as long as I have, being able to freeze liquids with flash without spending £12,000, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. Before, when I used to want to do this sort of thing, I used to have to get 10 speed lights and gaffer tape them together to make a mega light.
Can confirm.
Yeah, AA batteries everywhere just to get the flash duration I needed. I couldn't afford the graphic packs. They were like 12 grand each. Then a head's like 3-4 grand. It's too much money. They are brilliant for that, but they don't work in the ecosystem. Now, of course, if you're not shooting a 6-figure campaign and you're going to your local restaurant, you'd be a fool to turn up with broncolor lighting. If you're shooting a local advert and you've got Godox stuff at home and the entire budget's 5 grand, you'd be a fool to use broncolor lighting. But they don't even compete with each other.
Oh, no, completely. It's trying to compare a Picanto to a Ferrari.
Exactly. I could own both a Kia Picanto and a Ferrari. And at no point would I go, oh, which car should I drive today to do this in? Because if I'm going to do the shopping, I'm not going in the Ferrari. Ooh. And if I'm going to go and buy something expensive down in Mayfair, I'm not going in the Kia Picanto. Like, you choose your tool for the job. So do you need high-end kit to be a commercial photographer? No. You don't need to buy any of the kit I've got. And if I lived in London, I wouldn't even have a studio.
No, because that'd be an absolute fortune of a drain.
It would be a drain on my finances. I live somewhere where it's so cheap that I'm an idiot not to have a studio. Well, I'm not really. I shouldn't have a studio. It's a man cave for me and Teddy most of the time. We don't do many jobs here. We use it for YouTube. It's basically a YouTuber studio, really.
Yeah, and a lot of test shoots.
A lot of test shoots. It
important.
Means I can chuck a stylist on the train from London up to Leicester, chuck them in a hotel and do test shoots here, pre-light the day before and save myself like 3-4 grand, which is more than the rent is here. So you don't need high-end kit. I have shot, my first global campaign was a Dolmio one, and I shot it with Bowen's 500 lights and a 5D Mark II with this Canon 100mm L lens I've got in front of me here, which isn't even mine. It's not my lens. It's not my lens. So, yeah. I don't know. What's your take on that? Actually, before you give me your take on this, let me go and take my inhaler so I can feel my breathing slowly coming to a standstill, and then give me your take.
Yes, yeah. Do definitely get the breathing thing done. So it's like all things. Are the broncolor lights, for example, better by every measurable aspect? Yes. Are they better by a factor of the difference in price? Absolutely not. Are there certain scenarios, quite specific, unique ones, to certain types of commercial photography that can only be done with something of that ilk that Godox cannot do? Yes. But that's the 1%, not the 99%.
How often do we use my kit to the limit?
Nowadays, not very often. Back in the day when you were on the Bowens and the gaffer tape speed lights.
Yeah.
Always, he said, why would you? I mean, I remember you were like, well, why would I not shoot at 100% light? Well, why would I not?
So, hang on. There we go. Sorry. Talking to the microphone, that'd be better. I can breathe again now. So, just about. There is a look when you use, I don't understand this. So, all things being equal, which of course they never are, shooting with 500 joules of flash compared to the same shot, correctly exposed, shooting at 3,200 joules of flash, different look.
Yeah.
Assuming there's no ambient anyway, there's nothing else, aperture's the same. So you can just adapt the ISO, but it's noiseless regardless. It's different. It looks different. There's a different look to it.
Yeah, I mean, whether that's the fact that the way sort of the additional power makes light wrap a certain way or what it does, especially with like pores in the skin and these kind of things. There is some intangible, is probably the word I was looking for.
Yeah, there really is. I'm sure there's a physics behind it. I'm sure someone knows.
You can see it, but you can't quite point out what it is.
Yeah, exactly that. But I don't believe you need high-end kit to do what I do.
No.
Because as soon as you get a big paying job, you go to the rental house. And if you go, there's no rental houses near me, there's probably no big jobs near you either.
Yeah.
Is a short. There's no rental house near me. There's also no big jobs near me.
And also on the subject of renting, like, yes, you know, you could own all the stuff and do it, all the rest of it. But the reason you use known brands, or shall we say more commonly used brands that the rental houses stock, is because that's what your lighting tech knows how to use.
Exactly. And there's always someone in the comments going, well, if my assistant didn't know how to use Godox, I'd hire a all the good assistants know how Broncolor and ProPhoto work. I'm sure some of them know Godox, but the problem is every different product from Godox works slightly differently. Every menu system, they've got so many triggers.
Yeah.
I take a pocket wizard and some Scoro packs, and everyone in the room knows what they're doing with it. And that really does matter. And yeah, sure, I could train an assistant up on Godox, but why? I mean, I think Paul knows how to use Godox, actually, to be fair. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you don't need the kit, but also the reason and someone else will be like, oh, you should buy it all and rent it to yourself. Now, I do own it all. I think I've got 4, 5, 6, I've got 7 packs and 12 heads. I've got enough kit to do any shoot. The problem with owning it, if you're traveling to London like I am, you have to drive down the night before. Now, before doing that, actually, you have to get to here. You've got to pack everything down, load it into the vehicle with my weird plank of wood thing to stop me getting squished, which is not a safety advice. I've then got to drive down. Now, I am insured to leave my kit in the car. But if I get it broken into, that insurance is no use to me for tomorrow's shoot. You can't do the job the next morning. Yeah, exactly. So I have to drive down. I can't stop. Like, best case, I can wee in a bush and make an espresso on my little car machine. That's the best I'm getting on the drive down. It's probably going to be a 3-4 hour drive because there's always a problem on the drive to London. I then get to the studio the day before and we pay them to use the studio. I then unload everything. I then go to a hotel, stay there, wake up the next morning, go to the studio where my kit is, get set up, do the shoot. We then pack everything down, load it into my car. I drive back home, can't stop. Get back here at midnight. I then have to load it in at midnight into the loading bay of here by myself. I then go home, I sleep, I come in the next day, there's bags everywhere. I think I've got to unpack it all, put it all back into storage and lock it all away again. Or I could just rent it.
And the other factor as well is those long wheelie bags with the packs and stuff in.
They're heavy.
They're heavy, yo.
They're heavy. You could do your back in very quickly with those bags. Yeah, a Scoro pack's heavy.
Yeah.
Scoro pack is heavy. And yes, if I'm doing a 4-day shoot, I'm taking my own kit because I'm getting what, 1,500 a day? And it's worth it. If it's a 1-day shoot, there's not a chance in hell I'm taking my own kit down with me. I'm just renting it.
Well, because that 1-day shoot becomes an almost 3-day shoot.
Yeah, for 1,500 quid.
Because you've got to go down the night before and then you've got to rent a hotel and da-da-da-da.
Yeah, so I've got to take an assistant with me as well because like some of the loading in, I can't leave the car unattended. It's a real, it's a pain. So that's the reason. You don't need high-end kit, but the ecosystem in the UK and the US and France and in Spain and anywhere is for those brands. And it's the same. I was like, oh, if you're going to shoot 35mm cameras, shoot Canon. Because every rental house gets someone's like, oh, your guy you had on the other week, Jack, he shoots Nikon. Yeah, and it's a nightmare because he has to buy stuff and return it when he can't rent it. There's no Nikon lenses available in this rental house. And you go, oh, well, this one's got it. You don't always get to choose. What happens is if you go to certain studios, they're like, oh, yeah, it's only £1,000 a day to rent our studio, but you have to use our catering and you have to use our rental house.
Yeah.
And their rental house will be one of the ones elsewhere that just white label it in. And they'll be like, oh, we've only got, everyone's got Canon, and everyone's got Canon lenses.
Yep.
Don't have Nikon, don't have Sony. Might do, but it's luck of the draw. So if you want to buy a 35mm full frame SLR Canon 5DS, it is the most versatile camera in terms of the ecosystem of the industry. If you want to buy a medium format...
For commercial stills photography.
For commercial stills photography.
Right, that's
if you want to buy a mirrorless camera, R5 Mark II or R5 Mark 1, they're both supported, as are the lenses. Mm-hmm. The lens is not quite as much still as the old EF because the EF gone to video lenses, video cameras, and there's way more rental for video than there's for stills.
Yeah.
It's a much bigger industry. No one owns a video camera like a proper one. You'd be a fool to own like a proper video camera. You rent that because it's expensive and you need a different one for every job. Medium format in the UK, GFX now, every rental house. They've all got it. And if you don't get a GFX, you get a Phase 1. Mm-hmm. They're your two options. Phase 1 backs, you can even get Phase 1 backs that fit onto a Hasselblad. So there's an H mount, you get adapters and stuff like that. So you can use a Hasselblad, but it's a Phase 1 back or a GFX. So really, your options as a pro photographer, if you want versatility in the industry, is GFX 100, R5, 5DS. You get 3 cameras to choose from. Nothing else makes logical sense. But that's not to say don't just buy it because you fancy it.
No, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that if it's your hobby.
And I also think, I've got a photographer I know who shoots on a Hasselblad with a Hasselblad bat. It's a 500 cm. It's like the old school waist level viewfinder. Beautiful camera. It makes no sense, but he loves it. I'm too sensible for that. I'd love one of those, but I'm like, no, doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No, I mean, you flirt from every so often to a 35mm film camera.
Yeah.
You get all enthused about it for about 5 minutes and it sits there for months and potentially years, and then you get rid of it and then you get pining. Oh, you remember, I want a film camera again.
I know. I nearly bought a Fuji 100, X100 camera. I was like, I've had 3 of those and I've never taken more than 10 photos with one. But yeah, it's nice to have nice things, but at the same time, it's a tool, gets the job done. Same with lighting. If you're going to buy lighting as a pro, use Pocket Wizards. Unless you do high-speed sync, use Pocket Wizards. Because then, when I turn up on a shoot, the reason I bought Pocket Wizards is because I turned up on a shoot where it was pro photo only, and I was handed this pro photo trigger. I'd never seen it before. It got so many buttons on it. I was like, oh, good Lord, this is a nightmare. And then you end up somewhere else and you've got the RFS trigger, or you've got there's a broncolor trigger, and everyone's like, it's just a Godox trigger, and it's not. It's the Godox outer shell, and someone in marketing should be shot for having used it. It's not the same thing.
That'll be the classic public tool. Yeah,
you can't put a Godox trigger onto the broncolor stuff in the way you can put the Godox looking broncolor trigger onto them. It's a different thing. But that's by the by. But I'd buy Pocket Wizards and then any flash brand you want, because you're probably going to be renting anyway. Buy Godox, but use Pocket Wizards. Because at least then you know how your trigger works. Like, even if I'm renting everything, even the camera, I still turn up with my Pocket Wizards, because the last thing I want is a nightmare trigger in flash.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's just not worth the hassle. Pocket Wizards, and then there's an absolute fail-safe, some PC sync cables.
Yeah. I mean, Advantages is rock solid and just never lets you down. The inconvenience, oh no, you have to walk over to the pack to change the power. You can't just do it from the camera.
That's what assistants are for.
I know, right.
Get them moving.
See, this is the difference in our boost levels between you and I. Is that one of us has to get up and fix his own power, and the other one has got an assistant for it.
I'm like, can someone make it a bit darker over there for me? Thank you. Yeah. So is it a waste of money buying the expensive kit? Probably.
It depends on how, it's a thorny issue that it's one of those things. It's a long-term investment, not a short-term one.
Exactly. So yeah, I won't be buying a new lighting system. My broncolor system is my system. My aperture video system, I don't think I'll upgrade from that.
Well, you say that, you just had to have an upgrade.
I mean, in brand level, like I won't go to a bigger brand, because it's plenty good enough for what I do. Just keep adding to it, really, can't I? And it's, it's a shame I can't have everything with Bowen's S mount. I don't like the broncolor mount because it's small at the top, big at the bottom.
Yes.
And every time you try and remove something, it's never the right way. That does annoy me. My favorite mount is the Pro Photo one. Grips onto the side, clamps on. Yeah. It's actually not the best mount for actual light quality, but in terms of
ease of use
and not worrying about smashing every flash tube as you're slowly putting a metal ring past it, is pretty good. But the Bowen's S mount's good. I like the aperture stuff. It's good quality. If I hadn't have bought broncolor and I hadn't have bought aperture and I'd have just used Godox, I would be in the exact same place now in my career that I currently am. I'm confident to say that. If I didn't shoot medium format and I shot full frame, I'm not going to say crop sensor, I don't believe that, I would be in the exact same place in my career as I am now. If I didn't have a technical camera, maybe not, because some of the work I do is highly technical.
Could only have been done with that.
Yeah, I think the Cambo is a very important tool. Lenses, any lens, doesn't matter. Like the lens you use, I used everything from like lenses in the 1970s, gold ring lenses, GFX lenses, phase 1 blue ring lenses, the whole gamut, like, doesn't matter. On my website, there's lenses from £200 through to maybe 4 or 5 grand, I think. I don't think you can tell which one's which.
Well, I mean, the interesting one was always Canon, the Plastic Fantastic. The Nifty 50, like £80 retail.
Yeah.
Now, and then you had the other end of the spectrum, like the multi-1,000-pound f1.2 L lens.
Always wanted that.
And now it was always considered that unless you shot that at 1.2, anything above f1.8, the 50 quid, the 80 quid one was better.
Yeah. I mean, the build quality wasn't great. I remember using mine once, and it focused, and it kept focusing, and the inside just focused out and fell onto the ground.
I mean, they have upgraded it now. It now has a metal mount.
It needs it.
It didn't have early days. I mean, if you sneezed, it would break the plastic mount, but it was like 80 quid. It didn't matter. And it was sharp. It was great in low light. I was like, absolute game changer when I bought that and then took the kit lens off, and the kit lens never went back on it. I'm like, well, it doesn't shoot wide enough. I don't care.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
This is better. It's so really good for the money.
And I think this, I mean, like, my coffee setup behind you there cost more than my first camera setup by a long way.
Oh, God, yeah.
A long way. But I can make better coffee without that setup. I have a worse setup at home. I make just as good coffee. You know, we've got better pots and pans at home, but the food still tastes like food. The camera doesn't matter. And it's easy saying that sat in here in a room full of aperture, broncolor and GFX kit.
No, but then I think in fairness, to today in 2026, you can't buy a bad camera.
If you buy a camera that was made from 2010 and it's full frame, it's good.
It's good enough. It just is good enough.
For stills, video's different. Videos come on leaps and bounds. Yeah. I don't think you need the kit. I think I'd have a few £100,000 more in my bank account if I hadn't bought all this kit. I think it helps on YouTube.
I think you'd have found something else to spend that money on, though, in fairness.
Yeah, probably nothing good, though. Nothing sensible. I'd have spent it. I think it's good on YouTube from an educational point of view. I think that people on the internet take me more seriously because of the equipment in the background of my videos. Now, I didn't buy it for that reason. That'd be a stupid reason to buy it because I don't make enough money off YouTube to justify that. But
I mean, there are more than a few creators that do exactly that, buy stuff just as a prop for their set.
Yeah, I mean, I do use stuff as a prop. That light behind me that's on, that's there as a prop.
Yeah, but I have seen you also use that on a shoot. So
I got that off Stabilizer. I did a job for him years ago. He couldn't afford to pay me, and he gave me a softbox.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's quite. There's like a cover for it. I'm trying to put my drink down here without losing the mic. There's a cover for it as well, which gives you like a perfect circular catch light, and it gives people like anime looking.
Oh yeah,
it's awful.
Like Team Rocket blasting.
Yeah, someone thought it was a good idea. So whilst talking about kit, let's talk about sensor size, because I also made a video on sensor size.
Brace yourself, internet.
Yeah.
Things are about to get spicy.
Let me make this abundantly clear. Bigger is better in every possible way. And I'm going to show you why and explain to you why. I've got a GFX medium format camera here. It's not 645, but assume it's 645. If all things are equal, and the lovely folks at Fuji made different versions of this camera and just trimmed the sensor, full frame, APS-C, micro four thirds, teeny phone thing, this one would be the best in image quality.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is medium format, and the camera next to it is APS-C. Now, there is a weight difference, mostly from the lens. That's a zoom lens, that's a prime. I wouldn't say the size difference between medium format and APS-C is worth buying it based on size.
No, I mean...
And I'd also say the weight difference is negligible if you've not even been to the bathroom this morning.
In this particular instance, now, having seen you wrestle with a phase, that's a big old camera.
That's a little bit less convenient.
Yeah.
But do you know what? It's actually a phase probably only comes to here.
Yeah.
It's not that much bigger. And my point for this is daily camera. This is smaller. iPhone 14 cost me like 300 quid second hand with a new battery in it. This, I understand why you go, yeah, this has got a smaller sensor, but it serves the purpose of convenience. APS-C to medium format, where's my convenience?
None.
It's just, I don't know, they're not the same lens. Like you can get a lens which probably, let's take this cap off here. You can get a lens that comes to here. And yes, it is smaller and it's a bit lighter, but I'm not umming and ahhing over which one of those I can take compared to my phone.
I mean, they both fit more or less in the same camera bag.
Yeah, they're both a pain in the arse.
In other words, they have to be in a camera bag. Neither are going in your pocket.
No, exactly. Oh, that's an awful noise. There we go. Can we get this back on again? Oh. Now, in terms of I've messed it up. In terms of image quality, it's not even close. The GFX poops all over an APS-C. It just does. And of course it does. And if this is a Micro Four, I don't have a Micro Four Thirds camera because I'm not that way inclined. But say I had a Micro Four Thirds camera. Actually, I did have that Sony point and shoot.
Yes. Yeah, the RX100.
Obviously, it's not a good one, but in terms of like size, it's good size, but I still took my phone instead because guess what's smaller and lighter and more convenient and already in my pocket? And the image quality between this and the Sony, the Sony's better in every measurable way, but not enough to have the inconvenience.
Yeah, I've Chase Jarvis's book, the best phone is the best camera is the one you have with you.
Absolutely. This, my iPhone, is my most used camera. I take more photos per year on my iPhone than I do on any other camera.
Mostly
and I'm a professional photographer. It's mostly Teddy.
Yeah.
Photos and videos of Teddy. It does a job good enough that I would print a photo from it and hang it on the wall. Photos of the kids, all on here. It's very rare I have a camera because look how how do you walk around with one of these? I see guys doing it. Like you go to like a city for a day break or something and you'll see someone with like a massive camera around the neck. I was like, what are you doing? Like, why would you go out for a nice day out and ruin it by giving yourself neck ache with one of these?
Yeah.
I can't even fathom going away for a day and taking one of these cameras with me. Maybe it's because it's a bit of a busman's holiday, but I just take my phone. Bigger sensors are better. Equivalent focal length is purely for marketing. It has nothing to do with being an equivalent focal length. You can't get the same shot on a Micro Four Thirds as you can on a GFX.
No, you can get the same field of view, but the shot isn't the same.
Yeah, exactly. Things will start moving in the background. I promise you. We tested it because I was like, most of the internet says I'm wrong. I better double check this. Paul and I came in here. We shot everything. No, we're not wrong. It's not the same. It's similar. It's equivalent. It's meaningless. Like, why? I actually thought the difference in size between these and weight would be bigger because that's a monster lens.
Yeah.
But and this lens is much bigger than the Canon lens. The GFX lens is much bigger, but not so much so that you go, that's small.
No, but then if you look at that compared to the 50 to 100 f1.8 that I use on my big rig, that's tiny.
That's true, yeah. And that's equivalent focal length. If you want to talk about equivalence. That's the
numbers are roughly similar.
Similar numbers. Like, it'll give you a similar sort of look. This is an f4, but it's a bigger sensor. That's a smaller APS sensor. So, I think it's a pointless conversation. I think it's all marketing hype. Why would you buy a tiny sensored camera that's still a massive chunk?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in the kind of like the Fuji Micro Four Thirds kind of small almost.
That X100's APS-C.
Yeah.
That's not Micro Four Thirds. The little Leica looking one.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Back in the day when cameras first came out, it made sense because APS-C was cheaper and the APS-C lenses were cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Now that mirrorless exists and I couldn't give this away. Well, I probably could, but I wouldn't be able to sell this at any amount of money that would be worth selling it. You could probably get this set up for like £200.
Yeah, probably.
And you can also get a 5D for £200.
I know, she's crazy.
Like, it's just the price difference, if you're buying secondhand, which I do think you should do, is just irrelevant now.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely now. It is nowadays relevant going from medium format to full frame. You go, do you know what? Yes, I can afford the medium format camera, but those medium format lenses are spendy. They are thousands. That now makes sense, but below full frame, it's all the same price. If you're buying used, you can get anything for any amount of money, and it's good. You can get my dream camera setup for a few £100s with the f1.2 lenses and everything. Like, it's silly. So I don't understand this whole sensor size debacle. What am I missing? What am I not getting here? What are people like?
I think, again, the internet is full of, shall we say, opinions. I think
course.
It's fair to say it. And
I have one too.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's is valid. And I'm going to come at this now from a slightly different perspective.
Go for it.
Because having been sat in your room editing images off every single sensor size known to man, the difference, even moving from a high resolution full frame to the GFX was night and day.
Oh, it's massive.
Like, and that's me working literally at pixel level.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my God. So to people that say that there is no difference, I'm sorry, you are fundamentally wrong. Now, does it matter? That's another question.
So yeah, I think for work, obviously, biggest sensor possible. And some people are like, oh, but I have to travel really far with my the difference is negligible. Like,
yeah, at this level, it makes practically no difference.
I have had bowel movements with a bigger difference than this.
There's a thought I didn't know. Thank you for that, Scott.
Hit a couple of black coffees on an empty stomach before you head out and just take the GFX. But it's like, I don't understand it. Like, there's just, yes, this is lighter than this.
But not that much.
Like, are you weighing your shoes before you go out as well? Well, where'd you draw the line? It's not like a performance athlete. When I was a cyclist, we used to empty our drinks bottles at the bottom of a mountain before going over it. So they're only half full, so we weren't carrying additional water. That makes sense. But I'm not. I'm walking up a mountain to photograph a bird. GFX.
Yeah.
Or phase or whatever.
I mean, now in
autofocus. Yeah.
So again, in terms of application, as you know, the legendary Canon 7D.
As I say here, it's 7D here. Yeah. Is that 7D? No, that's a 70D.
70D.
Where's my 7D gone?
Well, the 7D was basically the crop sensor 1DX.
Yes. But the reason that made sense when it came out was because the zoom lenses for EF were so outrageously expensive. But now that the RF mount exists, they're pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Like relatively, like all things being, put in consideration there.
Yeah. But that was particularly popular with the bird watching community, as you know.
The Twitchers.
Because of the kind of, shall we say, natural amplification of the focal length
image for you.
Yeah, it was kind of pre-cropped, so everything. But because it's a smaller file size, you could hammer those and not run out of buffer.
It did have good burst rate. I don't remember that. It had awful colours though. Everything had an orange wash to it. It was a nightmare to process them compared to the 5D files. Because I remember we used them at weddings now and again for the person, again, to save money on the lens. Stick someone with a 200mm lens at the back of the room on the 7D instead of a 5D, and you don't have to crop in post. Yeah. And that saves you money, and that makes you more profitable. But I don't get it. I know, like, if I was a street photographer, you'd be like, yeah, what's the best camera? Something nice and silent, probably a Leica or a X100 or the Ricoh GR, whatever. If you're a portrait photographer, you obviously want the biggest sensor possible because the longer lens on a bigger sensor, that gives you a more flattering look to the face.
And again, like use case, I mean, if you're doing run and gun, full frame DSLR / mirrorless is probably still where you're at.
Do you know what? I shot a kid's birthday party years ago at a phase 1 because I think Phase had given. Who gave me someone gave me a phase 1. I was
determined to use it.
And I was agreed to photograph his kid's. But this was years ago before I even had a beard. Went to photograph his kid's birthday party and we shot it all on the phase 1. The photos were beautiful. Oh, like the light as well. It was one of those lovely overcast days. It was just, it looked beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The depth of those images. The client was like, these look amazing. These are so beautiful. I was like, I'd love to say it was me and not the camera, but that was the camera. It was lovely.
But again, relative to what you can charge for a kid's party, owning that makes absolutely zero sense.
I mean, I probably got paid 200 quid to go do that party, I'd imagine. It's, that's what it is. But, there's a lot of cheap kit in here that's made me a lot of money. That lens particularly, which I didn't pay for because I borrowed it because it was worth so little that they didn't mind me borrowing it. So I've still got it today. I've probably shot more campaigns. Why would I shot more campaigns? It's either this or the Zeiss would have been the lens I've shot the most campaigns on.
I'd say you shot more with that, but more significant ones with the Zeiss.
Yeah, I think this lens here, I shot the most number of jobs. I reckon I made more money with the Zeiss.
Yes, because you were still at what became my old studio when you had that lens.
Yes, that's true. The Zeiss macro planar will be the lens I've made the most money on, I think. Or my Sigma 35mm art, because I used that for a decade.
Yeah.
Just from sheer volume of shooting.
Which is why it's currently held together with tape and prayers.
But it still works.
Yeah.
Still works. Beautiful. I love that lens. It's one of my favourite focal lengths. I think outside of work, my favourite focal length is a 28mm lens. I think that is the best focal length for just photography in general. Like day-to-day snapshots, landscapes, portraits, 28mm. 35 is my next favourite. It's a bit better for portraits, less good for snapshots, all the rest of it, but I do like a 28mm. I think that's made me a lot of money. The Blackmagic 6K, not the one we're shooting this on today, but the one out back, rigged up to the motorized system, that must have made me a fortune.
Yeah.
I've used it for my YouTube channel and every educational video I've ever shot, and campaigns. And we shot a TVC on it. That must have made serious money.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
it cost what, 1,500 quid?
Well, I mean, there were like 2,500.
Or 2.5.
And that was again when they've at launch. I mean, I think they're down to. I mean, they're definitely sub $2,000 now. I think you can buy the Pro for like about $2,000.
I think I did, yeah. And that Blackmagic 6K, the non-Pro one, has just been hammered. Every shoot we did behind the scenes, every podcast, every YouTube video, every educational video, every commercial video, all on that. That's probably my best investment.
Yeah, it's return relative to spend, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, whilst having that, I've gone from the 5DS to the GFX. I've changed stills camera, but that's still good.
Yeah.
Love it, like it. It's good. What's your best purchase?
Oh, I mean, in as much as I don't tend to change mine very often, in terms of stills, it was the 6Ds, which I still have to this day.
Yeah, the good cameras.
I bought my very first camera ever, which was a 650D in 2013. And then by December of that year, I'd upgraded that to my first 6D and then bought the second one the following year. So I had a matching pair because you were always on at me. Yeah, you need two, Rob.
Yeah, you do.
And I did. And man was right. So, hats off there. So yeah, since 2014. So they're 12 years old now. And they weren't new then.
No.
The first one I bought brand new. The second one I bought from a well-known used reseller where you get like 5 years warranty, which you didn't get from buying a new one. I'm like, why did I not do this the first time?
The same with Apple products. If you buy them secondhand from elsewhere, you get a better warranty than buying direct from Apple.
So definitely buy this. I mean, and again, I up to 2019, so 5 years, they were my go-to stills and video cameras. And it was only kind of when I was tasked to do a Kickstarter campaign for a headphone company, and I wanted to do some. We went around Birmingham, the custard factory, and the nice cool areas. I wanted to do some like nice sexy slow mo. My God, the slow mo on that camera sucks so bad. Like, not only does it drop to 720, but it also now the amount of moire. My God, like it's just horrible. Like it was, literally unusable. So I had to like sack that idea off. And at that point, I'm completely and utterly limited now by the kit. The kit can't do what I want to do. And that should be the only time you should want to upgrade. Not because there's something new and shiny come out. And that coincided quite nicely with Blackmagic launching these. And again, never really heard about Blackmagic, didn't know much about them at all, but just looked at the spec of it and I thought, this will do. Now, there was at the time the horror story of the waiting list for those things when they were at launch. I mean, he was talking anything up to 9-10 months waiting list. And I remember shopping around and I remember find a rental shop of all places at Pinewood Studios. And they said, there's a bit of a waiting list. I'm like, oh, God, I know. And I was ringing everybody up and they were like 9 months, 10 months. And they were like, it's going to be about 2-3 months before we can get you on here. I'm like, take my money.
Yeah. Take it.
And then I remember it arrived about 2 months later. So, it came pretty much on schedule. And the first thing I shot with it, I was just like, my God. Just like absolutely just gobsmacked at how much, just everything. And then I thought, let's try the slow-mo out, which is the main reason I wanted it. And oh my God, it looks exactly the same as the normal frame rate. What's this witchcraft? Because that's not the case with the 6D.
No, very much not. Yeah.
And then kind of started using that. It took me about a year to get to know it. And then I bought a second one because I just having a look around, I thought, probably need two again. And a film student in Leicester, because obviously we have DMU, we have the film students, had kind of bought one, shot his end of year project on it, and they said, well, I'm skint now and I need the money. So managed to buy that quite reasonably, and so hence the reason I have a matching pair. And I've had those again, both of those now since, one at 2019 and one just before the world ended. Yeah,
but you've been shooting on those like heavily.
I mean, look at the state of them.
They are well, but they're not showing any signs of stopping.
No, I mean, one of them has a little foible where the DC input jack doesn't work on it anymore. It basically, if you plug something into that, it shorts out the battery and the whole camera stops working. Yeah, which was a bit of a niggle. But again, we've kind of got around that. Got to work around that with a dummy battery. Everything else on it works perfectly. That one has not. It had a bit of a moment where it didn't want to accept audio particularly well through the microphone socket, which is a bit of a problem. But that seemed to have magically solved itself. I think maybe that was during one of the firmware updates. I think maybe some sketchy firmware on it, and that's been great. So that one works perfectly, and that one works almost perfectly, apart from the DC jack doesn't work. And they have been hammered for 6 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're rolling around the boot of your car a lot of the time. You chuck them in. There's no bags for them, are there?
No. I mean, I'm kind of just barebacking it. I mean, they are rolling. They've always lived in a cage. I mean, in fairness, that's the one thing I did do correctly, was cage them up and make the rigs as robust as possible. That one's protected by the rails and the cage and the monitor on top of it. So that has taken a nosedive off, because those Manfrotto throws. Every so often they will have a habit of that you need to tighten up the Allen keys, and I didn't spot that, and I heard this timber smash. I thought, oh, that sounds expensive. Oh, it's mine. That's the problem.
That's it. Yeah, I've dropped mine a couple of times actually, and again, caged rails and all the rest of it. They do take it.
Fortunately, it was just the £100 mat box that took the hit.
Yeah,
and everything else was perfectly intact. So I mean, I rate them.
I'll tell you what I saw on Instagram the other day. It was this DOP I follow, and he'd rigged in sort of like tripod receivers on the boot of his car. So he gets his camera and clicks it in, so it's like held in place. So he's got the base of a Manfrotto head, so he can attach his camera to it in the boot, so it doesn't swing around. He just like clicks it in and then unclicks it to take it out again.
Yeah,
like a bayonet mount for his camera in the boot.
Smart.
You should get on that. You could fabricate that. That's right up your street.
Yeah, for sure.
So last thing we're going to end on here is the ethics of commercial photography, because again, we've had some old videos that have started picking up recently. It's random how YouTube does this. You'll do a video, it doesn't get many views, and then like a year and a half later, it goes, oh, let's just share this with everybody. So we've got new viewers on the channel who might not be familiar with this. Now, out in the big bad world, almost every major brand has got something scandalous they do. If I was morally perfect, I wouldn't be a commercial photographer, I don't think. It's hard, like, I don't know, take fast food, for example. It's not good for people. We don't need it in this world. I still shoot it. And like alcohol's bad. There's no, with the recent research, there's no argument for drinking alcohol, but I still shoot a booze campaign. And I still drink. So I think the ethics of being when everyone brings this up, the ethics of commercial photography, I think it's a really interesting one. I think if you're really have a very moral standpoint on these things and you wouldn't work with certain brands, that's fine, but expect to have a very stunted career. And I think you just have to, I can't sit here being all high and mighty going, I won't shoot for fast food and all the rest of it, and then I've got an iPhone in my pocket. That makes no sense. I can't play online computer games and be all funny about it, because I'm literally melting the polar ice caps by playing computer games.
Yeah.
Like those data centers, especially like Roblox and things like that, they must be like caning the electricity. It's a difficult one. I think there is one, I won't name the brand, there is one brand I won't shoot for ever. And that's a moral choice. But I'm sure they're probably not the worst brand out there. It's just that I happen to know something about this brand, and knowing that, I can't work with them. And I have been approached by them, and I have said, I'm really sorry, it's not really the sort of job I'd be interested in doing. And they're like, that's fine, don't worry about it. But yeah, what about you? Do you have like people you wouldn't work for?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you and I work at very different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say. I mean, I try to have a decent moral compass where most things are concerned. And again, there's certain companies and, importantly, people.
There are individuals I'd never work with.
I absolutely would not work for.
I think it's easy on an individual level.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will not work for this person here because of who they are. That I'm much more on board with. And
again, obviously, it's been more video-centric. I'll be careful. I'm choosing words here.
Yeah, okay.
Because we're on
the lawyers on it.
Because we're on YouTube. There's a certain sector of the industry that I've been approached to work for, offered very good money to do, and absolutely would never, ever do.
Yes.
Now, most of my male friends were like, are you mental? And most of my female friends were like, good on you, but why?
Yeah.
And then I explained why, and they were like, makes sense.
Yeah, I think actually, if I was looking at more local jobs, smaller jobs, things like that, there's a whole host of people I wouldn't work for. A whole host of them. But in the commercial world, I like, if I shoot for this brand or not, and it's like everyone's part of the problem. If everyone goes, what difference does it make? But I've already got an iPhone in my pocket. I'm already driving a very inefficient petrol car to and from work every day. It's not like I'm whiter than white out there. It's not like I'm living the moral high ground. You know, there's loads of stuff I do that's bad on a day-to-day basis in terms of like ethics and morality. But in terms of my career, I was very clear that I have people to provide for, and I can't turn around to some of them and go, sorry, we can't have food this week because the only people willing to pay me were morally sketchy.
Yeah. And I think in the Western world, at least, for sure, it's almost impossible to be whiter than white.
Yeah, indeed.
Whether, that's, that you own, a pair of leather shoes, where, you have a car of any sort. There's a lovely push bike just there, for example.
Yep.
That wasn't carbon zero.
No, it was not. That's made of steel as well. So that's really not carbon.
So, there's all sorts, I suppose, and it's finding the limit of like, do what you can.
Yeah. And I think once you start going too far, it's like, right, well, I can't work for any of these brands because they're all bad. Can't wear any of their clothes really because they're all bad. Like, short of living off grid, making my own clothes, which, to be honest, would be my dream life. But then you bought some land
and given money to a land baron.
Yeah,
so that's so. Oh God, honestly,
I think it's different. I think you have to have your own ethic. I have ethics with the Tin House Studio thing, for example. If someone comes to me and says, "Can I make it as a photographer?" and I don't think they can, I will tell them straight to their face. I'm like, "No, I don't think so, mate. You don't have the right personality. Your work sucks. You can't see what's wrong with it. You haven't got a chance." Because I think morally it's wrong for me to string them along.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Especially if I'm charging them. I also think I don't upsell, like, say we're doing mentorship with somebody, we do 3 months. I don't offer them to renew. There's none of that. Like, if you want to do it, you do it. Because it's really easy for people to go, Scott's an agent, he might get me signed. If I pay him for this, it might lead to, like, no, absolutely not. I would never, and I have all these rules with it, but when it comes to shooting big campaigns where they're paying me 6 figures, got to eat. Girls got to eat. A, you've got to eat, and B, this is your job and this is your chosen career and profession. Yeah. If I was independently wealthy, I'd be a documentary photographer and I'd go and do the good work. I'd go and tell stories that needed to be told. I'd document and all that. That's what I would do if I was rich.
Yeah.
And money didn't matter. And I didn't have to provide for anybody. I didn't have to provide for myself if I didn't have dependents. If I just had money, I'd go and do that. I think that's the good fight.
And I think certainly, if you look in, the food and drinks world, for example, everybody has a choice.
Yeah.
On that front, and that's kind of the thing. So, is fast food bad for you? Yes.
Still might be getting some tonight though.
Well. I'm eating, actually, I'm slightly off track. This will be my second of 3 nights eating vegan. So,
oh, nice. I quite like a good vegan meal. I'd never, do you know what? Once recently, I chose the vegetarian option on the menu when there was lots of good meat options because none of them really appealed to me. And I was like, oh, that's strange for me. Everyone's food came out. I was gutted. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, that's a schoolboy. I feel like, the Sammy Lowell at the start of Pulp Fiction, is because I have a new girlfriend, as you know, who is vegan, which means I'm pretty much vegan.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
For that, so I'm learning a lot, trying to find all the flavour bombs like miso and...
miso's banging.
And nutritional yeast. Who knew that was a thing?
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah,
right?
we go through a lot of that at home, actually.
So, it's again, slightly off topic here, but the point I was trying to make is, if you're shooting an advert for, insert fast food brand here, whoever it happens to be, it's people have it's not like it's a monopoly where like a Demolition Man, where every restaurant now is Taco Bell. Like, you have a choice of places that you can go.
It's also like, so start photographing for avocado farmers. They're not good for the environment. Avocados are really bad for the environment. Coffee, That's a really sketchy industry when you start looking into it with gangs, cartels,
yeah. I mean,
it's not plain sailing.
You would struggle, and I'm saying, and in the Western world particularly,
you'd really struggle to find a
how
brand
do you
with
go
no
day
dirt
to day?
on it.
I mean, I'm not going to own a car, right? How do you get anywhere? Walk, right? In what leather, right? So you're not going to do that. So you can't get on a bus, you can't get on a train because none of those are totally ethical. Some more ethical than others, granted.
Exactly.
So it's all a sliding scale of choices.
And I think the important thing is I always think it's dangerous when you've got your sort of like moral compass and it stays there. If your moral compass isn't changing, that's never a good sign. I think there should always be like, do you know what? I used to think this was okay. Actually, I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah,
that's where I think you want to be. It's like, I fully expect in a year's time to have slightly different moral views on my work. And I also think it's much easier for me now that I have money, to be more morally, what's the word for it? Like active, I suppose, or like more, I can afford to have morals. When I started out and I had no fixed abode and no income, I couldn't afford morals. I just had to make money. And there's definitely a correlation between the two. Yeah,
and that's back to kind of, your sort of life statement of, if I was independently wealthy and had no dependents, I would go and do this.
I'd be gone. So I'd be on a plot of land with 50 golden retrievers, living my best life.
Teddy Island.
Has Scott won the lottery? Look how many golden retrievers I've got. If I've got an obscene amount of golden retrievers, I've probably won the lottery.
And you're not breeding them.
I won't be breeding them. We'll just be playing in the lair. Yeah, it'll be great times. But there we go. Right, let's wrap it up there. We've still got more work to do. It's only 1:30. We've got time to get it done.
I know, yeah. We're smashing it today.
Yeah, right. I'll catch you all next week, next month, whenever we next film some podcasts.
Indeed. And ciao for now.